Bam! What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 35 of Next Gen News Week. This is the podcast for the week of January 27th, 2021. I almost forgot what date it was. My name is Mitch. Joining me tonight is Richard.
Hi.
And Michael.
Howdy.
We're sadly down to Steven. We think he might be asleep, and that's perfectly okay because he needs all the sleeps he needs to get.
Oh, no.
No. Anyway, before we jump into all of these little small bits of news that are going to take up your next hour of your time, we need to pour one out for this guy. And you're seeing this on your screen now. Kid colored all over his PlayStation. And it's kind of sad.
I actually think it's an improvement. I mean, it's solid white. The thing was asking for it. It's humongous. It looks like a giant drawing board.
It's a blank canvas.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if I had been waiting years for this thing and then was able to procure one through a pre-order and not get it stolen on the way home and got it set up and then thought that'd be nice, and I'd get my kids some markers for Christmas and accidentally get ones that can write on anything and not just, those markers that only write on that specific type of paper. And yeah, like Michael's got there.
Return to the small hands. We haven't seen those in a while.
No. I would just be upset, but the good thing is that rubbing alcohol is a thing, and it might stain it a little bit, but at least you won't have to deal with some crappy drawing of mommy and daddy and the pets on the side of it.
So rub one out for this guy.
Damn it, Michael. Damn it.
How you use alcohol.
We have a great show for you this evening. Starting off with a new game that has been under my radar, but apparently it's been hitting the Steam bits for a little bit. Hidden Deep. Richard and Michael, you guys both watched the trailer a little bit ago.
I did.
What do you guys think about Hidden Deep?
I'm getting it.
You can go ahead, Richard.
I'm getting it. I mean, it's got that retro appeal. It almost kind of reminds me a lot more complex, but those games similar to Flashback or Out of This World, old school Prince of Persia, that kind of side-scrolling platformer, where there's a lot more complexity to it. Looks like, as far as investigations and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm down. Sold.
Michael,
I'm not sure if I'll buy it, but I mean, it's got some really intriguing gameplay. Very story heavy, evidently, from the looks of it. I'm hoping for like multiple endings, and I don't know. Maybe if we can get like a second one, or maybe in a series, have it like fully 3D. That'd be really cool too.
Yeah. I mean, it's at least got two endings because you can betray your friends by, killing them. So, I mean, there's at least two endings in the game so far. I kind of put in the notes that it looked a lot like Pitfall, but it also has like those happy wheels, like the way that the characters look and like the way that the gore is in the game. Kind of looks like Happy Wheels. There's a lot of like, it's obviously there's aliens involved because it's underwater, and what else do you have to be afraid of underwater other than aliens?
There's a ton of shit underwater to be afraid of.
Aliens.
Have you ever seen a moray eel?
Yes, I have.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Anyway, that game is coming out sometime.
Everything underwater is scary. Come on, man.
Including aliens.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
They live in the Bermuda Triangle.
Would you rather encounter aliens underwater or aliens in space?
That's a good question.
I don't think it really matters, does it?
I mean, I feel like
aliens in space is kind of a given, but aliens in water,
like, fuck, where'd they come from?
That makes a lot more sense, because people already have a fear of the deep, a fear of oceans, general lack of the unknown, and to know it's like right there, right underneath us this whole time. Yeah,
And there's already giant squids out there.
yeah.
That's like happening right now.
You know, fish that don't even need eyeballs to eat you. I mean, it's just, I mean, incredible.
Yeah.
Eels that make electricity.
There's your new renewable
Monsters.
energy source. Yep.
Dolphins that
There's-
fuck
they're
humans. I
monsters.
mean, it's great. Ocean's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. There's also a giant lizard down there that's gonna fight a big ass monkey in about 2 months. Like, it's gonna be great.
SpongeBob.
Godzilla versus Kong, HBO Max, March 26th. That's all we're gonna say. So I didn't know this until after I was rebuilding these notes for my bad eyesight from my computer. But Hidden Deep is being published by Daedalic Entertainment, which is also the publisher of The Lord of the Rings Gollum, which was delayed into 2022 the other day. I'll be using a quote here. I forgot to put who it's from, but it says, the quote says, "We are forming a fellowship with Daedalic to publish The Lord of the Rings Gollum. The game will be released in 2022 on Xbox and PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and PC, with more news to come." I didn't know this game was coming to the Switch. I thought it was just going to be Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm not a Lord of the Rings person, so I'm not like gonna get it. It's like, oh, it's on Switch, I have to get this game now. But it's just like,
Right.
I feel like
go ahead.
It's not
delays
something I
are
would get for the
commonplace.
Switch.
Yeah. What'd you say,
We
Michael?
went two directions
It's
there.
not something. It's not something I would get for the Switch. I mean,
Right.
I've been disappointed on any big budget game on the Switch. It's just Nintendo shouldn't even made that choice. I mean, just stick to what you're best at.
Right. Richard?
Oh, just the delay in general. It's just that seems to be commonplace with like the big titles now.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not delayed, it's wow. What did they do wrong? You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's, back to the whole philosophy of, delay a game. I can't remember the quote, but it's like a delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is always going to be bad. And it's like what's happened with Cyberpunk. I mean, it's not a bad game, but it was obviously rushed. And
I don't know. Man, No Man's Sky. That goes against that. That goes against the grain.
every game
Yeah.
can't have a redemption arc like No Man's Sky did.
We would only.
Because No Man's Sky took it, no other game can. They
Yeah,
already set the
exactly.
bar, so
Yeah, CD Projekt Red would have to kill Blue Point or not Blue Point, whoever made No Man's Sky, whatever team that is. They'd have
Hello.
to,
Hello
Games. They would have to kill them, and then they could take over that spot. There will never be a No Man's Second Sky, or No Man's Ocean, or whatever they
that'd
want.
be wild if that was the actual name. No Man's Second Sky.
I mean,
One man, two sky.
yeah. All right. This is kind of a story that I was gonna mostly talk with Steven about. No offense, because he's a big Xbox guy, but Microsoft tried to do something real shady, and I know that Richard's gonna take this as all the ammo that he can because he,
They didn't try and do nothing shady.
But anyway, Xbox had announced the other day that they were going to raise the price of Xbox Live Gold, which a yearly membership of Gold currently is $60 a year, and they were going to raise it to $120 a year and just think that everybody was going to be okay with it. And within 16 hours of them posting that, and probably lots of business calls, people asking what the fuck's going on, they decided to double back or go back on their stuff about it. So they put, and this is from the Xbox official Twitter. So today was not great. We've always tried to do our best for you, and today we missed the mark. We hear you, and we're reversing our Xbox Live Gold pricing updates to bring Xbox Live more in line with how we see the player at the center of their experience. We'll be removing gold requirements for free-to-play games. We're starting to work on that immediately, and we'll have updates in the coming months. Which, if you didn't know, games like Fortnite, Rocket League, anything like that, even if they're free-to-play games, you still have to have Xbox Live Gold to play them. And that's not been the case with like PlayStation and Switch. You didn't have to have PS Plus or Nintendo Switch Online or PC Online or whatever it's called to play these games.
Yeah.
But you did for Xbox Live, but apparently not any longer. Richard, as a PlayStation person, how do you feel about all this?
Dude, it's politics 101. First of all, they never planned on increasing the price of Xbox Gold. The plan was always to have the games unlocked. They did that because, like I said, politics 101, you create a problem and then you create the solution and then you look like a savior. I don't know how many comments I've seen that's like, oh, I'm so glad that I'm a Microsoft fanboy and my company listens to the customer's comment. Yeah, okay. They didn't listen to anything. They let it ride for like a day, and then they swooped in with what they had planned to do all along, and they're like, yeah, look how great we are. We listen to you. No. This is all a ploy. I hate Microsoft.
This happened a few years ago too, but just not with video games. It was with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Whenever after Spider-Man Far From Home came out, they said, oh, we're pulling Spider-Man back out of the MCU. And then within 24 hours, they said, oh, never mind. We'll keep him in. You guys want him in so bad. And then what happened? Now there's this third Spider-Man movie coming out. And then they had a big deal with Sony where now there's like a bunch of spin-off Spider-Man movies. Like, I think Richard's dead on with this. Like, Michael, do you have anything to add to it?
That's not even the first time. I think the first major one for me was with the when they were first talking about the like the Xbox One and PS4. They were talking about DRM protection for the games. Xbox bought that technology from Sony, and were planning to use it. And then everybody was like, "What the fuck, Microsoft?" Even though you're not even the ones that had it originally, you bought it and you're planning on using it. And then they backpedaled on that and lost all that money from that deal. But I'm also with Richard. I think a lot of it is politics. A lot of it is a ploy. A lot of it is, planned. How much did their stocks raise when, they already talked about raising the prices?
Yeah.
Investors are going to want to be on board for that. You'd be like, oh, Microsoft's getting more money. Well, hell fucking yeah.
Speaking of stocks, real quick, have you guys been following what's happening with GameStop and Reddit?
Elon Musk saved the day or something.
I don't know about the Elon Musk bit, but apparently there was the subreddit that had tricked all these investors into investing in GameStop, and now they're out millions of dollars in GameStop. GameStop's shares have gone up like 3,000% or something like that. I think that was the last time I heard anything about it, but it's something ridiculous. It's some ridiculous number that GameStop in 2021 should not have as their shares because of what GameStop is nowadays. But Reddit's the reason behind it.
I was like, I didn't read the article, but I know Elon Musk is a part of that story. So
is he?
He is, yeah.
So, and now they're planning on doing it to AMC theaters too. So I don't know how many people are going to scam out of that.
Why are they bothering with these semi-dead companies? Like, why wouldn't they? I mean, is it to detriment them or what?
I don't know. The way I've understood it was that these people, like GameStop's stocks were down to, I think, like $3 a share or something like that. And all these Redditors decided that they were going to buy as many shares as they could. And it made these people who, like, I guess are involved like heavy in the stock market, made them think something's going on with GameStop. We need to start investing in GameStop because they started seeing the spike happening. So all these big investors started just dumping thousands of dollars into GameStop's stocks to the point to where it skyrocketed the price up on them. And then come to find out that there's nothing actually going on with GameStop, and they're just going to fucking lose all this money.
Oh, they're slowly going under.
Yeah. I think there was an article I read that said that the impact behind this thing with GameStop is going to, in a small pocket with just the people involved, is going, the economic like collapse behind it is going to resemble the 2008 recession, but only in this little pocket for people involved with GameStop.
Awesome.
But I'll tell you a company who's not worried about that, and that is Microsoft, because in the past 3 months, they brought in a profit of $15.5 billion, which is enough to already recoup the cost of buying Bethesda twice.
Wow.
And that is just on Game Pass sales and console sales, accessory sales, I guess first-party system sales, and whatever else is included in that just bundle of Xbox-related stuff. But they've already recouped Bethesda, which means they are primed. Actually, they're really not, but they didn't just show up with this money and just cash it in and buy Bethesda with cash. But they are, I guess, in a spot where they could potentially start shopping around for, other developers again, to Richard's many points about how Xbox can't make games, but they just buy studios. But who's next? Warner Brothers? Square? We'll see.
We'll see.
All right.
According to a new analysis by VG Charts, the PS5 has outsold the Xbox Series X and S by almost double digits. Just had to throw that in there.
Thanks. Now, let's talk about, since speaking of PS5, transitions and such. Richard, being the only PS5 owner currently in the panel,
Yes.
you have gotten to play the Resident Evil 8 demo.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
why don't you share a little bit about your time with the Maiden, as it's called?
Oh, man. I have no idea.
Big Mommy.
What the hell the title has to do with it. I don't know if you're a maiden or... Well, I mean, you can get kind of context clues. Apparently, these vampire broads... These vampire broads, they've been making wine for a good 400 or 500 years off virgin maiden blood.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's big business. But I don't really know if you're playing as Ethan. I doubt it, because you do spoiler alerts for demos?
Spoiler alert. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. You die at the end, or apparently it makes you look that way. You start out down in the dungeon, and it looks really great because just the ambiance and everything like that. It's almost like an interactive haunted house that you'd go through, like in Halloween. You get a small note that tells you, it's almost like a cool scavenger hunt of how you're supposed to escape the dungeon. And it's freaky because you're going through, and I remember I looked into this one cell and I saw a woman like slumped down against the wall. And I was very kind of like, man, she's going to move. She looks too real. Something's going on there. She never did. So I went back and I hit a dead end, and I come back through, and she wasn't propped up against the wall. She was laying on her stomach and had a pair of bolt cutters like jammed into her back. So that was weird, but I needed the bolt cutters. So I got the bolt cutters, and then I cut the lock open to get an item, but then I had to backtrack a third time, and her body was out of the cell, like into the hallway. So it was moving around. I don't know if she was still alive, or I don't know. It was just really freaky. And the last line of the scavenger note tells you, don't let them see you. So that kind of puts you on edge for the entire demo, because you're thinking, well, there's got to be like a stealth aspect or something as soon as I get out of this dungeon. So as soon as you get into the castle proper, which really reminiscent, at least I felt, of like the original Resident Evil, where you're in the mansion. Beautiful, beautiful decorations. You see their shadows like on the walls, like it feels like you're just missing them. You can hear doors close, doorsteps, every time you're like, oh God, they're right around this corner. I gotta sneak. So you're sneaking around and you're solving puzzles that are Resident Evil puzzles. You put the crest in the hole, or the little eye jewel, and the classic puzzles that you've always seen. And then at one point you're coming down this stairwell, and it's not a whisper. It's nothing. It's just plain as day. You hear a woman's voice, and she's like, I'm watching you. And it's just like, well, why not? Why am I sneaking around at this point? So And then you get out, and then one of the sisters, the bug vampire things that's got the swarm of insects around them, she just comes out of nowhere and knocks you on your ass and like bites a chunk out of your neck. And you kind of push her off, and then you run outside. But as soon as you open the doors to leave, the big towering vampire like ducks her head in. She comes in, grabs you by the throat, grows these like Freddy Krueger claws, and
Beautiful. That's how I want to go.
It's fantastic, though. It looks beautiful. I can't wait. It's Game of the Year 2021.
You heard it.
I can't think of anything else coming out. So even if it does, though, I'm looking forward to that. I'll pre-order that. Definitely.
Yeah. How long do you think it took you to get through the demo?
Longer than probably most people, just because I really like to take in the sights. Like, I don't know how long I stayed in that dungeon just walking around to look at it. Because developers, especially when you get the photorealistic graphics like you do in the last Resident Evil and this one, they take a whole lot of time to really go into detail about just the small things. So, when it was down in the dungeon, it was looking at all that. When you get up into the castle proper and you've got like this 15th century design and just the way the lighting is, and it depends. Like you can probably blaze through that demo in 5 or 10 minutes. It's not long.
Oh wow!
But if you're because essentially you walk forward, walk back, grab bolt cutters, walk forward, cut the lock, go through, get key, go upstairs, unlock door, go around, go upstairs, get key, go downstairs. That's it. I mean, it's quick if you just push yourself through it. But, I mean, if you're just wanting to look around and really take it all in, I mean, you can probably spend 20, 30 minutes.
I wonder if there's any, like, really hidden stuff, kind of like the PT demo, that, like, there's, like, a secret thing you got to do to, like, unlock an extra, like, 10 minutes of the demo that no one knows about yet.
Right.
Be cool.
I mean, there's doors and stuff, but they're all locked and stuff, but maybe. I thought you were talking about something in the PT demo at the one point when you look up over the balcony and you can see her like smiling down at you.
I have not played that demo. I refuse.
Really?
No.
Man, we really lost something with that. We really did.
Yes, we did. And I will have never played it because I don't do creepy shit. Like, it took a miracle to get me to play Outlast. And when you were talking about how you had to like walk past that chick and come back, there's like one of the first things that happens in Outlast is you're trying to get a key to go to this the control room on the first level, and you walk past this dude in a wheelchair and he's just sitting there just slumped, and you go into the next room and there's a dead body with a key in the hand, and you're classic jump scares, like, okay, I'm gonna grab that key and he's gonna like jump at me, but you get the key and he doesn't jump at you. So when you go back and you walk past the dude in the wheelchair, he jumps out of the wheelchair and scares the piss out of you. And then I'm glad I never have to play that game ever again. I don't know how I could play Phasmophobia either. I guess because it doesn't really do a lot of jump scares. But I'm not a horror guy. But what I am, though, is a big fan of Diablo. I'm killing it with these transitions today. I'm loving it.
You are.
So, if you are a fan of Activision, then you probably have heard of the developer Vicarious Visions. They've been around for a very long time. They used to help out with like the Guitar Hero games and all that, and a bunch of other smaller Activision projects. But here recently, they've did the Crash Insane trilogy, the Crash Bandicoot 4, and they've just and the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Like, they just got done with Tony Hawk and Crash. They just had both of those come out this year. Well, Blizzard, the big parent company that's over World of Warcraft and now actually Call of Duty, they apparently are not capable of doing a Diablo 2 remake on their own. So they have brought in Vicarious Visions to handle, supposedly, this is in air quotes if you're audio listening, or actual quotes if you're, or air quotes if you're watching this. They've been brought in to do a remake of Diablo 2. Have you guys played Diablo 2? Like, is that something you guys used to play before, obviously before 3 came out, or have you guys skipped out on Diablo?
I unfortunately skipped out on Diablo. It's always like a fringe game I've kind of like looked at and wanted to play, but never got a chance to.
Yeah. What about you, Richard?
I've played them all. And it strikes me as odd that they're doing a remake of 2 when 1 is so old. And I mean, it's so like, I don't know. I don't understand the logic there. I mean, it's cool, to remake the second one, but why would you not remake the first one? But that came out like in 96 or 97?
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems to me that you'd remake the first one, right?
I mean,
unless you're a Star Wars fan, yeah.
Well,
speaking of Star Wars, no. No, not yet. We are going to Star Wars land next, but no, I have some conflicting thoughts about this. One, I don't like that they have Diablo 2 remake and Diablo 4 in development at the same time. Like, this feels weird. Like, just do one or the other, put the other one to the side for a little bit, do something else, and then come back to it. But also, the fact that Blizzard doesn't trust their own internal team to remake their own freaking game. So they have to bring in another team to do it because they don't trust themselves because of how bad that they screwed up Warcraft 3's remake, or whatever it was, Warcraft Classic, whatever that game was that came out that everybody hated. So, like, they don't trust them.
They remade the first Warcraft?
They did. Well, they like upscaled the graphics and everything. I think it was the same engine, but yeah.
But yeah, like, they don't trust themselves to do it, so they brought on another outside team to come in and do it. Just doesn't feel right. Like, just take Vicarious Visions and throw them with you on Diablo 4 and make the game come out faster.
Wait, hold on. Did they remake the original Warcraft or Warcraft 3?
It's Warcraft 3, and then Warcraft Classic got a remake too.
Really? See, I love Warcraft and StarCraft. I was huge into Warcraft before they did that MMO crap to me. I felt so betrayed.
Yet I've never seen someone play an Elder Scrolls MMO as much as Richard does.
Well, because it's better. Look, I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, I gave World of Warcraft a shot. I had like one of those free like 2-week things.
Mm-hmm.
Could not get into it at all. I think because it plays nothing like Warcraft, whereas Elder Scrolls Online plays exactly like Elder Scrolls.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I went in to type Google, and one of the common question is, what's the point of World of Warcraft Classic?
Man. Sometimes you just can't help people. All right, and our last story bit for this week, we've past couple of weeks we've been talking about how Lucasfilm Games is reemerging, and lots of Star Wars projects are starting to pop up, and Indiana Jones projects are starting to pop up that are not a part of EA. And another one comes. This is the only like leak of this bit of stuff by some guy named Bespin Bulletin, and apparently he's a credible leaker in the Star Wars scene. Never heard of him before. I don't follow Star Wars though. But apparently, according to him, there is a remake of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which was a game that came out on 360 and PS3. Am I remembering that right? Or did it come out on the original Xbox? But it's coming out, but it's not being handled by EA and BioWare, which made the first 2 Knights of the Old Republic games. And also part of this quote says that you will never guess who the studio is that's making the game, which is a very weird quote. So, I thought it'd be funny if we take a quick shot at what studio we think is making KOTOR. So, because I don't know. I'm just gonna go on this the most random ass whim, and I'm gonna say Koei Tecmo, and they're making a Dynasty Warriors Knights of the Old Republic, and that's all I gotta say. Because I don't have any idea. If you guys even have guesses, I don't know. It's just
I do.
okay.
Blue Point.
Maybe. What you got, Michael?
Tencent.
You talking about Epic Games parent company that's owns everything? I mean,
Yeah.
if there's gonna be a company that's gonna get it, it's gonna be something that big. So, I mean, what if it's like Fortnite? What if they just reskin the Fortnite engine but make it
That'd be
KOTOR?
awesome.
Wait a minute. So, like, I googled it. Like, so it's not. Nobody knows.
No, nobody knows who it is.
Oh.
It is 100% a you will never guess. Speaking of not being able to guess, we have no idea, and this is our big story for this week. But we have no idea about hardly anything about Grand Theft Auto 6. And, with all we were actually going to talk about this little bitty story last week, but it got swamped by all the Resident Evil news. But it was just a small article that came out about how Rockstar had patented a new, NPC behavior patterns engine for what presumably is GTA 6. So I decided this week we were just going to blow it out of proportion, and we were just going to talk all about GTA 6 and what we'd like to see from GTA 6 since we don't know anything hardly about it. What we do know, though, is that in April of last year, it entered development, which means we probably have 6 years before it comes out. And it's been rumored that instead of releasing one massive game up front, they're going to release a smaller game and then consistently add on to it as time goes on. And 2K, who is the publisher for Rockstar, or I'm sorry, not 2K, it's Take-Two. They've announced that they are going to be having a heavy marketing push. They're in their budget for 2023, they've included a heavy marketing push, but have not said for what, which makes people think that GTA 6 may be coming out in 2023. So, Richard, I know you and I have played a lot of GTA 5, so I'm going to start with you. But I know you've probably played a lot more without me, but you're probably one of the other people I've played a lot of GTA 5 with. So, I just want to start with you. What are some things that you would love to see in GTA 6 that were maybe in GTA 5 that could be improved upon, or things that you wish that were in the game that weren't, or things that maybe need to come out of the game to make it better?
As far as one of the things that because I was not a fan at all of 4. I didn't like the protagonist. I didn't care for the story. I didn't enjoy 4. I really enjoyed San Andreas. So with 5, it was good to see that setting again and be back in that realm again. But one of the things that I really liked, and this is, strictly a cosmetic thing that I wish they would have kept, is, you can buy new clothes and get haircuts and stuff like that. But I absolutely loved how if you wanted CJ to be fat, you could be a fat guy. If you wanted to be really built, you could be a really built guy. You really had, and it wasn't like you created a character. You altered the form of a preset character. And I kind of wish that was back in it. I think I've said it on another podcast. We had talked about, aspects that they could go into, and I would really like to be a cop in the Grand Theft Auto series.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe not necessarily a good cop, if they do the same kind of mechanic like they did with 5, where you've got 3 characters that sort of, bend the story. Then, you could have a cop on the take. You could have a rookie cop really trying hard. You could really play with a lot of stuff. And, with everything about law enforcement right now, Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar has really kind of made a name for themselves just by being able to like satire our realities to an extreme where, you know, nobody's safe. You know, they kind of take pot shots at everybody, and it's relaxing to see that. So yeah, you know, I'd kind of like to be a cop. And in that vein, in the older games, I don't, you know, you guys probably remember this, you know, you could jump in an ambulance, you could go rescue people, jump in a taxi cab. Yeah. You know, you could bring some mechanic like that back where, I mean, hell, you could just like pull people over or like actually run like actual cop calls, respond to stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like I really like games where you play a cop and there's just not that many, it feels like.
There really isn't, yeah.
And I remember Sleeping Dogs, you played as the undercover cop, and man, that was, you know, you talk about playing games and how I wish I could go back and play Sleeping Dogs again with like just fresh eyes, like, you know, never having experienced that, because there's one part in that game where I felt so much like John McClane from Die Hard. It was amazing. So yeah, you know, I'd kind of like to see, you know, we've always been bad guys or reluctant heroes. I guess maybe you could sort of put, not Trevor, but maybe you could sort of put that in there. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool just to play from the other end of the spectrum. Okay,
I have an idea. Rockstar, if anyone listens to this and works at Rockstar, don't take my idea, or if you do, you owe me money. So
Grand No Theft Auto.
No. So what? Okay, so you have the 3 character thing, right? You get 2 of them that are the reluctant hero bad guy types, but you also play as one as a cop, right? And you know, their stories intertwine a little bit. They run into the cop occasionally, but it's not like in 5 where they're all like going to team up. Team up at the end. But there's certain missions that you do where you get the option to choose between playing as the 2 guys or you're playing as the cop, and depending on which person you play as during those events depicts how the rest of the story plays out. Because if you play as the cop, you could potentially like arrest them, or potentially, you know, maybe not kill them, but, you know, do stuff like that. Or it could just twist the story depending on which side of it you're on as you get to those major story beats.
I hadn't thought about that. Actually, just the other day, I think when I first read this in the show notes, because I got to thinking, and I've probably played through the story of Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, you know, it's been out for almost a decade now. Mm-hmm. I've probably played through it, you know, 3 or 4 times. And you do get, you know, it's kind of like they dabble in it towards the end, because you do encounter a scenario where you kill Trevor, or you kill Michael, or you leave both of them alive and you kill, what's his face in the big house. It's been a while since I played it.
The president?
So it all, no, there's a Hitman game where you kill the vice president, though. You know, they kind of dabbled in that sort of, you know, choose, and then, you know, quite literally, you've got 3 different endings there. You could keep going with that and maybe put more branching paths throughout the story, like you were saying, Mitch. Mm-hmm. You know, and, I mean, I think it would work, and I mean, I think people probably have multiple playthroughs of Grand Theft Auto anyway, so it's just going to encourage that.
I think if that's like one thing that Rockstar learns from, in a positive way, from Cyberpunk, is the branching story arcs that, you know, you have different dialogue options that can send players in completely different directions as far as like characters that they meet and how they interact with them and everything. Because I've got friends that like were doing the same like run, and just for an example, with Cyberpunk, there's a character named Pan Am. I'm not going to tell you anything more about her as far as her story goes, but depending on what gender you pick and certain dialogue options, you could either end up helping her do several different missions, you can end up romancing her and everything, or she'll tell you to fuck off and you'll never hear from her again. And like that whole story arc is just completely just shut down because of certain small little dialogue choices. And just, I don't want Rockstar to spend another decade starting from last year, developing these branching story paths, but just include some of them. Michael, what would you do for a change about GTA to make it, or what is your dream GTA 6? I guess
My dream GTA 6 is I forgot. Basically with superpowers, where you become president and you like fly off of an airplane and without a parachute, and you're killing people midair as the president with superpowers. What game is that?
um 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 um
You know it.
Jump Force. Okay,
No.
I don't know.
I'm sure it's on my Steam wish list somewhere. But
Any reason to plug Shower with Your Dad Simulator? I'm not here for it.
Shower with Your Dad Simulator. No, those are all great points. I think it does take away from the whole. I mean, you can have the dirty cop. But I think it does take away of the whole death thing, and it kind of like even playing as a cop. Like, yeah, that's an interesting take, and that'd be an interesting take for one of the games. But I mean, like to me, the overall premise isn't, I mean, at least to me, the overall storyline, it's really like the reason why most people play it is either because it's heavily modded, or really just to fuck shit up. And you don't fuck shit up as a cop.
Hey, dude, have you seen Lethal Weapon, man? Look, that all depends on what kind of.
Oh man.
I guess all the points we've kind of made have been about a campaign, but as far as like GTA Online goes, would you like to see like stuff from GTA 5 Online carried over and like merged into GTA 6 Online, or would you like for them to do its own thing and everybody kind of has to start over from scratch?
Well, seeing as I have never played a single one of them.
Oh, Michael.
I'm so
I
sorry.
feel like they should say separate.
That's what I
also
want,
think that
but
my Grand Theft Auto cop thing has to take place in Vice City. It's time. We haven't been there in a long time. We've already seen an updated Liberty City and an updated San Andreas. We have not seen a 2021 COVID-ridden Vice City. So,
That's true.
You know, there's going to be people walking around with masks on. You play this game.
Oh my god.
I think that they need to be separate.
Saints Row.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking of.
yeah. Knock off GTA.
I was going to bring that up a little after this was going to wrap down, because the new Saints Row has been in development since 2017.
Yeah. I
and
mean,
it was supposed to have been like announced in 2020.
Maybe this is the year we get. What are they on now? Saints Row 5? Isn't that the one they're on now?
I think so.
Well, no.
Maybe? Okay.
If they decide to do a sequel, it would be Saints Row 4. But
I thought there is a Saints Row 4.
Are you thinking about Agents of Mayhem?
No, I'm pretty sure there's a Saints Row 4.
No. You had Saints Row 2, Saints Row 3, and then you had Saints Row 3 Gat Out of Hell.
That's probably what we're thinking of.
Which was a pretty beefy expansion to the third one. Almost like a standalone. But it was not Saints Row 4.
I would look it up, but my all my
Wait a
monitors
minute,
are taking it.
hold on.
Look up to see if there's a Saints Row 4, because I'm pretty sure there's a Saints Row 4.
No. That's completely my fault. Yeah, there is a Saints Row 4. The Saints Row 4 is, see, in the first one you just arrive, in the second one you take over the gang and get revenge. In the third one is where you I can't remember how the third one ends. It's like there's two different endings. One of them, you declare yourself like a city-state or something like that. And then in the fourth one, that's when you become president. So yeah, it would be Saints Row 5. But, I mean, with the way Saints Row 4 ended, that would be that would be difficult. Y'all guys didn't finish Saints Row 3?
Yeah, no.
Never played one.
So I don't. This game's been out for so long. I don't think it's a spoiler alert.
No.
So you're president, and then aliens attack.
Yes.
And
I remember the premise. I just never played it.
They completely destroy the Earth, and you end up going into space, and you kind of attack them through this weird sort of VR setup they had created of the world. And then once you destroy the aliens, or the guy that's controlling the aliens, the smaller, lesser aliens suddenly look at you like their master, and they tell you that they have uncovered time travel.
Oh.
And then it ends, and then as you watch the credits, you see like pictures throughout world history, and the Saints Row are there. Like you see like Egyptian hieroglyphics that have like the saints. So it alludes to the saints have basically just went all across the spectrum of human history. So, you could say that you could do a lot of things with that, or you could say, well, at that point, how far away are you getting away from what Saints Row was? Could you really build on that? Right. I don't know.
That sounds like the craziest episode of Rick and Morty I've ever heard.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it may be Saints Row 5. I'm kind of leaning towards it being a remake of the first one, though.
Saints Row BC.
Because the problem that Saints Row encountered, and you can kind of see it on message boards, when fans start talking about it, is it became so over the top and comedic towards the end that it started to lose a lot of people. Like the second one was still silly, but the story though was pretty dramatic, and there were a lot of points in there that were just like, God, you end up killing this guy's girlfriend to get back at him, and like y'all didn't play the second one, did you?
I haven't played
We haven't played any of them.
Wow.
I've played no games ever. Why am I on this podcast?
There's and then I'll close out the Saints Row talk. But there's a part where you kidnap this guy's girlfriend. Now this guy does like the demolition derbies and stuff like that, where they drive the big monster trucks and crush the cars. You kidnap her from a mall and then stuff her in the trunk of one of those cars right before he goes on set. So he actually is the one that ends up killing her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, there's like some graphic stuff. And then like one of your friends, his wife is killed. So you finally track down that guy. And in a very tense cutscene, you end up burying that guy alive. And I mean, it's just the dialogue and stuff like that. I mean, it's like, HBO Max style shit. It's
right.
But it was very serious and it was very dark. And then all of a sudden in the next one, you're slapping people with like purple dildo baseball bats. So, it kind of graded off down into like this. It went too silly for some people. That's a common complaint. So I think they might actually be doing a remake of the first one, but Grand Theft Auto 6 though is we'll go back to that.
What a nice transition.
Beautiful. The most fluid transition ever.
All right, well,
how many other games have I not played?
Let's jump to Michael, our senior Genshin Impact correspondent, for an update about Genshin Impact, because Genshin Impact. I stuttered really bad. Oh my God.
I barely played Genshin Impact.
Didn't it just get an update again though?
They did just get an update, but it was like a character update. Like they released a new character,
gotcha.
So yeah, it's not like a new region or anything yet. And I think they're actually on track to start redoing some of the old character pools events. But nothing really happening right now. There's like 2 different events going on in the game, but I don't know, I'm kind of petered out on it. Honestly, I've just been laying around playing Raid Shadow Legends. And I don't know, I just hyper focus on one game, and it's not even like Raid Shadow Legends isn't even that great. Like the difference in character design is just so bland. Like, it's just like, okay, that's one fantasy elf, and there's a fantasy human, and that's an orc, and okay, yeah, D&D.
There's an orc with boobs.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I'm still stuck on it.
Well, all right. Well, as we're wrapping things up, we have it's time for our weekly trivia block. I don't have an actual name for it. We're going to call it trivia, though, instead of some kind of fancy name. If you want to submit questions for Richard, Michael, and Stephen if he wakes up from his long nap, make sure you tweet them at us at twitter.com/NGNW podcast, or you can email them to me at NGNWpodcast@gmail.com, or if you're local and you know me personally and have my Facebook, just message them to me. I mean, we can talk about other stuff.
Or send them to his mailbox, like his physical mailbox. Just shove it in there.
Yeah.
You don't need a stamp.
Yeah. Now, as you guys may know, every week when there's trivia, it's themed around something we spend a lot of time talking about. So, can you take a guess into what game series we're going to be doing trivia about this week?
Saints Row.
Yes.
Star Wars.
Yes. We are doing Grand Theft Auto trivia. And actually,
Since I've played 0 games, I hope to win this.
Yeah, let me shut down my browser.
yes. Right. Okay. Before we get started, Michael currently is in the lead with 3 points to Richard's 2, and Steven has 1 point, and he will sadly miss an opportunity to catch up this week. This week's trivia question is, what public figure was turned into the Statue of Liberty in Grand Theft Auto 4 following controversies around the use of sex scenes and hot coffee in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? Your options are Sarah Jessica Parker, Paris Hilton, Sarah Palin, or Hillary Clinton. I'll start with Michael because he hadn't played GTA.
Sarah Jessica Parker. That's what I'm going to go with.
Okay. Richard.
Hillary Clinton.
The correct answer is Hillary Clinton.
There we go.
So just a little backstory on this. Richard, do you know the backstory behind that?
Not enough to talk about it. I mean, I remember it enough to know that Hillary Clinton was the model that they used, but I remember like the hot coffee thing. But the thing that got me about the hot coffee fiasco was that was not Rockstar didn't do that. That was something that was modded in by the PC community. So I don't even understand why that was even a thing. I mean, Rockstar didn't do that. That wasn't like but they made it out that it was a Grand Theft Auto thing. Like, look at these terrible, trashy people in the games they play. No, that was the trashy people that play the games, making them even more trashy.
Yep.
But yeah, we ended up with a Hillary Clinton Statue of Liberty. So
yeah. So just the full thing, just to give everyone context. So the hot coffee mod, like Richard said, was a patch on the PC version of San Andreas that allowed players to access unused sex scenes that were already built into the game but were cut for the final version between the character Carl Johnson and all of his girlfriends. The mod was named after the quote from Carl Johnson that is said when the game initiates the sex scene, which is, "Coffee, huh? I only want sex." And in the middle of July of 2005, politicians, including U.S. Senator Hillary Clinton, launched a Federal Trade Commission's investigation into the hot coffee mod following the re-rating of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas by the ESRB, where Clinton had urged her colleagues to take immediate action to determine the source of graphic, pornographic, and violent content appearing on Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Mouthful. Anyway,
Wow.
GTA San Andreas was pulled from all brick and mortar retailers until because it received an A for adult rating from its original rated M for mature rating. So yeah, fun times.
Wow.
Good job, people. You just had to go do a lot of this, and you got Hillary Clinton involved, and that's why she ran for president.
And that's why we don't have Flipnote on the DS anymore.
you know,
Same
Y'all
reason.
fucking ruined everything.
Same
And
reason.
then, when you're given the ability to make whatever penis you want, you don't even make penises. What's wrong with you, Internet?
Yeah, look at Cyberpunk.
What's wrong?
Cyberpunk comes out, you get the option to make a ding dong whatever size you want, and you hide it in the boxers. That's just how y'all operate. But anyway, Richard, what were you gonna say?
Lindsay Lohan, she sued Rockstar.
See,
I was
gonna put Lindsay Lohan in the notes, or as one of the choices, but I thought it would be too obvious that one was GTA 5. So I was like, I was sitting there googling popular people in 2005 because I was only 10 and I have no idea.
Hillary Duff. No.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get out of here. Richard, tell us about Board Game Breakdown and plug some social medias.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. What is it called? A redaction.
Oh.
I'm gonna redact the statement I made last week. I said that I would be doing a review of Villainous, and because the Bloodborne board game was shipped out of nowhere with no tracking, it just arrived on my doorstep. I'm actually putting Villainous on the back burner. That's not going to come out on Friday. What you're going to see Friday is the Bloodborne board game, which is finally out. So if you're a fan of that game, you definitely want to check out what they did with the board game, because there's aspects that they captured and translated so well to the board medium. The game is just phenomenal. Now, it is only going to cover the board game itself. I will release a second, maybe even a third video, because, well, I don't know, you guys saw the picture I sent you. There's so many expansions. I don't know if I want to cram all those in one video, but yeah, the review is just over the core game, and then I'm going to release probably another video or two that goes over the expansions. But yeah, the February videos are all going to be about the Back to the Future board game, so Villainous probably won't show up until around March. But yeah, definitely, if you want to see the Bloodborne board game in action, check me out at Board Game Breakdown TV on YouTube, and also follow me on Facebook.
Sweet. Michael?
Well, I've revived my old web domain, so all my stuff can be linked at stalledaction.com. So you can see some of my old work and be linked to anything and any social medias that y'all need. We are so very close to 200 members on Unsolicited Nudes, so invite your children, invite your uncles and aunts, anybody that just enjoys wholesome nudes, especially Italians. We enjoy those people a whole lot there.
Dang. Also, since Michael didn't mention it, I'm going to bring it up. The February Games with Gold and PlayStation Plus games in his little for his open box tech deals and stuff. Fun stuff. I need to quickly pull up the PlayStation list. Actually, Richard, since your computer's available, you look up the Xbox Games with Gold real quick. I know it's probably sacrilege to type Xbox on your computer.
I know,
which is why it's extra punishing.
My computer might shut down.
I remember what the PlayStation ones were. It's not the Xbox ones. I know. Actually, I do. I think I just remember what they are. Anyway, PS Plus for February. If you have PS5, you get Destruction All Stars, which is a $70 game. We're getting that for free. Wow. Control Ultimate Edition, which is for PS4 and PS5, and nice. There is another one, but I can't remember the name of it. But it's like a little small indie game. So everybody loves indie games. And then, Richard, I know Gears 5 is on Xbox, and so there's an Indiana Jones game, but what else is there?
Yeah, let's see. February 1st to the 28th is the Resident Evil Remake.
Okay.
The 16th through March 15th is Dandara. Gears 5 is February 1st through the 28th. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb is February 1st through February 15th. And then February 16th through the 28th is Lost Planet 2.
Nice.
Sweet. 2 of those never heard of. But, cool. If you're a fan of Lost Planet or, what was it, Dandara? Is that what you said?
Dandara, the Trials of Fear edition.
Cool. Trials of Fear. Cool. All right. Yeah. Lots of free games to pick up, especially since Xbox Live didn't jump their membership by doubling it. Doubling it this time. Anyway, you want to find me all around the internet. Look up Meechflow. You can literally go on Google and just type in Meechflow, and you'll get Twitter and Instagram, probably my Facebook for all I know. YouTube, Twitch. It's all there. I'm all over the place. Find me on all that stuff. Michael, carry us home.
This week's podcast is brought to you by No Apron, the home delivery service that brings half-edible meals to your doorstep. Each box comes with at least half a loaf of bread and a various assortment of canned goods, so you can make whatever sandwich you like. SpaghettiO sandwich, bean sandwich, fried okra sandwich, you name it. The choices are just wonderful and plentiful. And there's no cheese because that just adds to the cost. $5 a week. Get yours now at noapron.com.
So they send you like half-eaten food, or
No, it's all mostly fresh.
it's like they just find a bag of groceries somebody actually left in the parking lot.
I mean,
and just mail it
they're
to you?
easy open cans. Like, what more do we give you? And then you can kind of fold the lid into a spoon and just struggle.
I don't know, man. I think do you eat like a sandwich with beans and bacon?
I mean, you could.
You could.
You can make a sandwich. They actually have this, and you can do your meal kit too. Is you take 2 pieces of bread, put them in a toaster if you happen to have one. Otherwise, an open flame will do. Toast your bread gently. Take another untoasted slice of bread. Put butter, and I know this is going to freak y'all out, but trust me on this. Put butter on both sides of the bread. Okay? Then take your 2 slices of toasted bread and put them together, and you can have a toast sandwich.
You know what's weird? Emmy
and that's
Maid,
a real thing.
I don't. Well. Emmy Maid. I don't know if you watch her, follow her, the little Japanese. She did the exact opposite of that.
Or she made toast but didn't put butter on either side of it?
Well, no. It was a single piece of toast between 2 normal slices of bread.
I guess to each their own, but if you're gonna just ruin
apparently it's
like
that, she said it was from England.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
it was
Asian
from
woman,
England.
Compared to me with my misplaced teeth, I think I know a little bit more. Eat your bean sandwich, okay?